from Varginha, Minas Gerais. A lot of you probably never heard of it. Basically, it's a place that's kind of in the middle of nowhere in the state of Minas Gerais, southwest, pretty far southwest of in Minas. I'm just gonna get adjusted here. I don't know if any of you know the story behind this place at all. I decided to do a live because I figured I wanted to reveal where the secret town would be. So I'm here. I'm about to leave in about an hour or so. I've been here for just almost 2 days. And it's an interesting town. I hope this noise isn't gonna stay. Jesus. I'm sorry about that. They decided to do this right now in the middle of a live. Anyway, the show must go on. So Varginha is known, for those of you that don't know, for its UFO sighting. I'll show you. For its UFO sighting. Way back in 1996. Actually, it'll be like 3 days to the day. In 3 days to be on the day. So I hope this doesn't last. Jesus. This is the perks or the terrible things that could happen when when you do a live spontaneously like this. But I'm at my hotel, and there's a pool, as you guys can see. It's a very, very nice hotel. Pretty much about 20 minutes from the downtown. I will have some videos coming soon, some vlogs, and then in the coming weeks that I did. I just completed one today. Guys, let me know if you can hear me okay, even though this guy's doing some noise behind. Let me know. Send me a message if it's okay. Charles Jones, boa tarde. Como você? Oh, ótimo. Ótimo, as Brazilians say. Have you heard of Varginha, Charles Jones? I bet not. Not too many people. If you're into the whole UFO thing and extraterrestrials and stuff like that, this is totally like up your alley. This place, if you can get here, you would really, really enjoy the story. I mean, it's tough to sort of communicate with people because obviously you need to speak Portuguese. And if you want to ask them questions about that particular day or 2 days, because it was a 2-day event really, when they were looking for the alien. First time I heard of it. Well, actually, if you go on Netflix at some point and look up, I can't remember the name of the documentary. It was a documentary done by an American, and he came here and filmed a couple years ago. You'll find it. It's like the day something. I don't know. If you look it up, you'll find it. Very, very good documentary. Brazil is definitely full of surprises. I have to say. I mean, I only learned about this particular case a couple years ago, like in 2021, so like almost 3 years ago. And I'm really like UFOs and things like that is right up my alley. So that's kind of like another topic that I love to talk about. So this kind of converged with two topics that I like to talk about: Brazil and UFOs and extraterrestrial stuff. So it was a win-win for me to come out here. I left Belo Horizonte and it took me about 6 hours. It was a 6-hour bus ride to get here. So Varginha is like, it sounds like Virginia, doesn't it? Virginia. It's kind of like the Virginia of Brazil. It's kind of a redneck town. I wouldn't say so much they're like rednecks as in the U.S. would have the same way, but they're very simple kind of people, very, very friendly. And if you haven't noticed, it's extremely hot here. Hello, Nick from freezing cold Philadelphia. Heading back to Rio in March for my girlfriend's birthday. Cool, that's cool, Chris. That's cool. You'll be coming when it starts to get quote unquote cooler here, but it'll still be better weather. Ozzy says, "Are you from Toronto?" Yeah, I'm from Toronto. I was actually born in Scarborough, which is a neighborhood just outside of Toronto, but it's right next door. So this town, man, honestly, it was really something, a surprise. I got to visit all the main touristy sites. that apparently that the sightings of the alien, if that's what you want to call it. You can call it a being, you can call it whatever, but I personally believe that it happened. And I say this because, not because I've always been into it and I want to believe, that whole X-Files slogan, I want to believe. It's not that. It's the fact that 3 reasons, in no particular order. The military came in here like flies on shit, excuse the expression, but they came in here so fast and investigated it and basically covered up everything so fast, like really fast, as soon as it was known. So that to me is an indicator that something happened here. Whether it was aliens, who knows? I mean, I do believe it was that. The other indicator was the 3 girls. 2 of them were sisters and one of them was the friend of the sister. And they saw the creature. The other time that they saw it was not them, but another person was at the zoo, and I visited the zoo here, and they have markers all over the place, so you can sort of find them. They'll like have a statue or something like that, to mark the location. But apparently a zoo worker also saw one on the next day. I think it was the next day. The same guy, the same being, the same alien, basically. Same creature. They call it creature. They'll either say ET, or creature. But it's a hell of a story, man. Honestly, I would say it's top 3, if not the second best sighting in human history that we know of. And it happened all right in this town. I'm just gonna give you guys a look quickly how the town looks, if you want to see it. Nice pool. I didn't get to use it, too busy. So here they have a shopping mall. Sorry, I think the connection went off for a second. So it's a crazy, crazy story. The documentary is absolutely worth watching on Netflix. Can't remember the name to save my life, but it's done by an American guy. If anybody knows what it is, they could write it in the comments if you've seen it. So it's definitely, I was surprised. I didn't think I would like the city, first of all, because it's a small town, right? It's about 140,000 people. That's pretty small for a Brazilian city, right? But the people were so friendly. People were willing to talk to me about the topic. And anywhere I went, I could just bring the camera, and people were more than willing to talk about it with me. Ozzy, for the first time in Brazil, who doesn't speak any Portuguese? Would Rio be your number 1 recommendation? Yes. I would say Rio de Janeiro. If it's your first ever time in Brazil, and obviously if you don't speak Portuguese, but it would still help if you could at least learn a few phrases or words. It would really help. It would really go a long way to making your stay a lot better. But yeah, Rio de Janeiro is the place to go. It's the place to be, but it's the place to go if you're going to be your first time. And I would recommend Copacabana. Any questions about Varginha or Brazil? That's fine too, but Varginha, if you have any questions. I know a lot of people don't believe in this stuff. There's actually a few people in this town that I found who don't believe in it, but a majority that I spoke to, they believe. Charles Jones, Rio or Sao Paulo for non-Portuguese speakers. Yeah, I would even say if you're worried about not being able to communicate, if that's their biggest issue, that you don't speak Portuguese and you don't really feel comfortable being in an area where you can't get by, I would suggest Sao Paulo. However, Sao Paulo does not have beaches, so if you really want beaches, you gotta go to Rio. I mean, you could go to the south of Sao Paulo, which has some beaches, but it's way out of the city. So, and absolutely no one in this town speaks English, by the way. So it was a big advantage for me being able to speak Portuguese in order to do my videos specifically on this topic, because it's a very complicated topic, it's if you don't know how to speak the language, how am I going to ask people questions about what did you think happened that day, or how am I gonna it would be really difficult. I'd have to get someone to be with me or translate it or something, but it was a great time. I'm glad I made the 6-hour plus trek out here by bus, and the fact that my bus was 2 hours late leaving from Belo Horizonte to get here really sucked. So it was literally like an 8-hour trip. I got here really late 2 days ago, but I hit the ground running as soon as the next day came. I woke up early, had breakfast, and hit the ground running, just filming stuff. Nick, are your parents Brazilian or Portuguese? My mother's Canadian, and my father's Portuguese, from Portugal. But I can switch the accent here if I need to. Like sometimes people don't understand my accent, especially in this town. Like this town actually has a way different accent. It's similar to the São Paulo one, but it's a little bit more nasally. I don't know how to explain it. You'll hear in some of the videos that I post. You'll hear how people speak, and it's a way different accent. It's just completely different. It's called caipira. So if you have a chance to look it up, you can see caipira. It reminds me of how in the southern states they have the Virginian accent, or the Southern Belle accent. It's kind of like that, but in Portuguese. Whoever's in the live, do you guys believe in extraterrestrials, or that it's possible, or you guys just sort of dismiss it as crazy talk? I really went through the water here today, big time. Sorry, I can't read. It's really, really bright here. Just give me 1 second, guys. It's sunny here. Okay, sorry, yeah. Desimoto, why are you in this town now? At the beginning of my live, it's basically I wanted to come and check out the supposed UFO sighting that happened here about 28 years ago. And it's one of the biggest close encounters that humanity has encountered. So I came for that. I'm really interested in the topic. So for me, it was a win-win, still in Brazil, and getting to know the people here, but also discovering and investigating what happened here 20 years ago. There's a really good documentary. I was mentioning it earlier in this live. Really good documentary to check out. I couldn't remember the title, but it's on Netflix, and you'll find it. If anybody remembers the title, you could write it in the chat. But very, very good documentary from a few years ago. Charles Jones, possible, not probable for me. All right, that's cool. I think it's highly possible. I do actually believe it. Call me crazy, but I do believe they exist. Universe is way too big for us to be alone in this place. But that's just me. Mathematically improbable of us being alone. But either way, I mean, the folklore of this atmosphere here is really, really unique. Considering a lot of people really, it put this town on the map in a lot of ways in Brazil, because one of the ladies told me who works for the city here, she said that I think about 30,000 people have visited this town since then, which may not seem like a lot, but for a small little town in the middle of nowhere, in Hickville, Brazil, basically, that's pretty fantastic. Ozzy says, so you're saying aliens visited this town in Brazil 20 years ago? No, what I'm saying is they crashed, a ship crashed. I don't know whether they were visiting specifically here, but there was a crash just outside of the town, like on the farm, the farmland part. And people even saw it. That, like you'll see in the documentary, people recount seeing a fireball just crashing down and whatnot. And the military came in a heartbeat. And in fact, the U.S. military collaborated with the Brazilian military here within a few days. They like removed whatever it was they found. They removed all the bits and pieces. They removed everything. It was very, very quickly done, and kept quiet as much as possible. Desmoto says, "Do you believe in the theory of evolution?" It's possible. I mean, I don't know. It's highly possible. I believe it's possible. I don't know if it's true or not. Like, I personally don't know. I'm 50-50 on that. But I don't dismiss it. I don't dismiss anything. I'm a very, very open-minded person. I don't dismiss anything. I always like to see proof of things and a person's argument. But so I will not say that it's not true, because anything is possible in this life. Explorer Comb Break. Hi, how are you? Welcome to the live. Oh, just for those of you who weren't in the live earlier, this is a t-shirt I bought that I got here. It was about $20 US, $15, something like that. And I actually lucked out. You'll see if you guys check out my vlogs on this town, you'll see I lucked out quite a lot here. I'm excellent, Explorer Con Break. Are you Brazilian? I think you're Brazilian, right? To the Bang. So I'm leaving in the next hour or so, and the bus terminal's not that far from here. So, I'm gonna take a Uber or whatever, taxi. Who knows? So I wish I'd used the pool, but didn't have time. This is the first time I'm staying in a place that has a really decent looking pool. So, você é da Niterói? Niterói, eu conheço Niterói. I know Niterói. Eu sou brasileiro. Já conheço a Varginha? I think he knows where Varginha is. A lot of Brazilians have heard of it. It hasn't gotten the exposure that it probably deserves. I was speaking to a lady in one of the stores, and she was saying that they don't take advantage of the infamy, if you want to say, or the fact that this happened. They don't. The word in Portuguese is explorar. It's like, how would I say that in English? To take advantage. They don't take advantage of it nearly enough as they should. That's what she was telling me. This very nice girl at the store. So, like I said, if you guys are whoever's watching this live later on, whoever's not in the chat now, if UFOs and things like that are up your alley, this is next to Roswell, man. This is one of the places to be if that's up your alley. Like, if you're into that. Explorar com Brasil. Já ouvi falar sobre os ETs, mas nunca fui. Não conheço Minas Gerais. So he's heard about the ETs, but never came here. Never visited Minas Gerais. Minas Gerais is a fantastic place overall. I honestly say it's a great state of Brazil. It's got really friendly people, amazing food. Even every town you go to, even in this town, it's incredible. The food was fantastic. So I'm only gonna keep this live maybe, a 30-minute live. I just wanted to do it because I think it's an interesting place. It's been visited by even other Canadians here. I was asking around. Other foreigners have been here. There's been quite a few foreigners coming here. So it's not for lack of interest from outside of Brazil. So I really, I'm glad I came. I was skeptical at first because I thought maybe I wouldn't find out a lot of information here. But if you start to talk to people, people are willing to open up and talk about what happened that day, 28 years ago. Maybe I'll come back in the 30th anniversary and see what they do. They're apparently going to do a little fair or festival in the center of the town on Saturday. commemorating the 28th anniversary. A lot of people will dress up. There's a lot of people who really like it here, you know, and people were looking at me funny because I had this t-shirt on, you know, so I was really bringing attention to myself. Yeah, I bought some other souvenirs, not very expensive. They've got monuments all over the place, even the city hall. If I could show, I can't show you here, I don't think, but the city hall looks really crazy. Yeah, I guess you can't share photos here. But the city hall has like it's a flying saucer on the top, the roof of City Hall, and then the elevator is like a giant shaft with a flying saucer on top. You can look up pictures. If you look up Varginha, you'll see pictures of it. It's really, really interesting. There's so many different little areas around the city that have it. And I think it's just no surprise to people when they saw me walking around with a camera, with the t-shirt. So it was really cool. This is one of the best hotels I've stayed in, to be honest. And this is from a small town. It's one of the best ones. The room was very comfortable, AC, it was quiet. They've got this patio here with the pool. The service is very friendly. The breakfast was incredible too. So if you guys do come here, stay at Class Hotel Varginha. That's the name of the hotel. Pretty awesome. I didn't think a lot of you guys would know where Varginha was. I mean, I didn't know where it was only a few years ago. so it's pretty amazing. I almost got into contact with one of the witnesses, but to no avail. Apparently, I got the contact of somebody from a diner. One of the sisters owned a diner, but they recently had sold it. And somebody said, hey, I know, I was just talking to the server, and then a guy just interrupted and says, hey, I know the girl, if you want the mother's phone number, and you can just send a message. But unfortunately, not enough time. I didn't get a response back. What are you gonna do? Maybe if I come back here again one day, I'll meet the girl and get an interview about it. So it's two sisters and one friend. The friend doesn't want anything to do about it anymore. She wants nothing to do with it. She doesn't want to talk about it. But the two sisters who look similar, they're not twin sisters, but they look similar. They still do. I think they have a YouTube channel. They have Instagram. So they really, dive deep into it. Explore com Brasil says, which is better, Minas Gerais or Rio de Janeiro? That's too difficult to say because they're two different states. Honestly, I can't compare the two. I can compare the two, but I can't choose which one's better. I will tell you one thing. I wouldn't want to live in Minas Gerais, which may sound really shallow, but for the fact that don't have beaches. I'm a beach guy. I need beaches. I know they've got really lovely waterfalls here, and some lakes and things like that. But it wouldn't cut it for me. I need the ocean. I need the beach. I need that fresh breeze coming off the ocean. I mean, as for living, that's what I need. I need a beach where I live. But for visiting, it doesn't have to have a beach. If I'm going on traveling around, it doesn't gotta have a beach. This pool here would have served me just well to cool off. So it doesn't matter about that. But it's a different state. It's a much different state. I would say the food is better here. I would say the food is better in Minas Gerais. I would even say Belo Horizonte I prefer that city more than São Paulo, in my opinion. I prefer Belo Horizonte a lot more than São Paulo. To me, it's a mini São Paulo, but I found it much safer. But I'm gonna do a live from Belo Horizonte tomorrow. So just so you guys know, talking about Belo Horizonte, Ouro Preto, wherever, So I wouldn't say that Minas is better than Rio, but I also wouldn't say Rio is better than Minas. It's kind of a difficult thing to decide. Have you traveled to Colombia or Venezuela? No, I haven't. So one day I'm probably going to expand my channel. I don't feel like doing it right now, and maybe start traveling to other countries. around South America and just keep expanding slowly, right? As just as a travel channel overall. But I'm quite happy doing Brazil for now. There's a lot of places to visit in Brazil. When the time is right, I'll expand the channel to open up to a just more of a travel channel overall. That'll be in the future. Future plans. It's always good to plan stuff, you know. But my goal is to travel to every state in Brazil, have videos of every state in Brazil, talk about what's good in every state of Brazil, you know, show the people, show the sad realities as well. I'm gonna need more water, man. It's just the sun, it zaps the life force out of you, especially when you're not able to cool off. It just dehydrates the crap out of you. And me, I was running around all day today and all yesterday. I'm coming to Brazil. Paraná state for student visa is that. Sorry, I don't understand. Are you asking me if you need a student visa or that you're gonna have a student visa? I understand you're gonna go to Paraná. Paraná is decent. I've been there. I've been to Curitiba. I wouldn't want to live there. It's in the wintertime and like it's way too cold and rainy. Explora com Brazil. Which Brazilian state has the best food? Ooh. It really depends on your taste, but for me, so far, I would say Minas Gerais. Only for the fact that they've got all the fruit covered. You can get any fruit you want. You can get the fruit juice, but they have the type of comida mineira. It's like different types of rices, and it's just very flavorful. They keep the barbecue they do the barbecue really well. But you know, Brazilian food overall is all very good. But mineira food, very good. I would say it's one of my tops. Nick, you and Dennis are definitely the kings of Brazil. Just stay there and continue to unlock hidden gems down there, bro. Thank you. We try. You know, I mean, a lot of people, unless they travel, don't know how, and this is not a complaint by any stretch of the imagination. It's very exhausting, you know, because you want to get good content, but you also want to enjoy, you know, some free time without doing content. You know, you have to have a balance. I found that balance. It's when the short stays are a rush. Like here, I didn't have much. I did enjoy it, but I had to take pauses. You know, I had to take pauses. But I wouldn't say I'm the king of Brazil. There's other YouTubers out there who. Dennis is doing really well. He should have more subs, but yeah, I wouldn't consider myself yet the king of Brazil. But I'll wait for that crown later when I visit more and more states and grow as a channel. But I'm happy to help people. I just really enjoy bringing a camera with me and showing my experience through the lens. I know it sounds a little corny, but that's the truth. You know, I really enjoy it. Let's see some more comments. Oh, I have a student visa and coming to Brazil in April for studies. Give me some tips. Tips on what do you want to know? What do you want to know? I've never lived in Paraná. Paraná it doesn't have beaches there. They have some waterfalls. Curitiba is not the most exciting city. So I don't know. Let me know why you chose Paraná. What do you think? What's the reason? But I would just say learn some Portuguese if you're going to move to Brazil. That's my biggest tip to you. And Paraná is pretty safe place, especially Curitiba. Sorry, I'm just scrolling here. Now, okay. I've heard that Minas Gerais is consistently named the best state for Brazil. It sounds like the New Orleans of Brazilian food. Yeah, it's pretty damn good. Like even the little small restaurants or diners or whatever you want to call them have like pretty damn good food. I especially like the fruit juice in Brazil. The fruit juice and they call it vitamina, which is more of a, how would I say it? Vitamina, like a smoothie. Yeah, I would say those are some of my favorite things about living in Brazil, because honestly, you can get fruit juice pretty much anywhere you go, and and since I've stopped drinking alcohol, It's my go-to drink next to coconut water. So for me, incredible. And this place is no different. Like they have the fruit juices down pat. Anywhere you go in Brazil, it's a paradise when it comes to fruit juice, man. Explora com Brazil. Which place do you think is the most dangerous in Brazil? The most dangerous place that I think, from my experience, because I won't judge places I haven't been, and unless I see people get from proof. But from my feeling of places I've visited, I would give the nod just a little bit to São Paulo, like downtown São Paulo, because I've never seen so many homeless people that like to harass people walking around. Maybe it was just bad, wrong place at the wrong time, but I would give the nod to São Paulo. Also, a driver when I took Uber in São Paulo was telling me that they have criminals under the viaducts that hang out and they wait for unsuspecting victims. Like if the car stops, they'll even break the window to steal the phone, the guy's phone. So I saw the guy move his phone, take his phone off, and put it under the seat or under the dash. So that's real life experience there. So that's why I would give São Paulo just a little bit more. Rio can be quite dangerous. You just don't want to wander off to places that you shouldn't go. Accommodations for students. I don't know, man. I mean, you might be able to find accommodations through the school. So maybe ask them, if they have anybody they can give you information about where you can stay that might be worthwhile. I'm really not sure, man. I mean, I only went to Curitiba once, so I'm really not sure. Is it safe to vlog? Depends on what you mean, like where? In general here in Brazil or in the dangerous spots? In Brazil in general, it really depends on the place. Like, I don't actually think about it too much. I did vlogs in São Paulo, Porto Alegre, Rio, obviously. And I just sort of, you have to put the fear sort of out of your mind. Otherwise, it's just going to control you. I don't pretend to think that there's no danger, okay? I'm very careful. I know it doesn't look like it when I'm just waving the camera, I'm talking and whatever, but I am very careful. I observe around my area, I keep my eyes open, keep my eyes peeled. It is what it is. I mean, thank God nothing's happened to me so far. And I just like to keep bringing the content, dangerous place or not. In general, like I'm going to Paraná and want to do vlogging there. Oh, in Paraná. Paraná is pretty safe. Are you going to Curitiba or where are you going? I visited Curitiba and Iguaçu Falls. Both were very safe. I did vlogs in Curitiba. You can even check out some of my videos. I did some videos around Curitiba. So you could take a look. It was rainy and shitty because it was back in June and it was winter time, but you can check it out. It's safe. I would say it's one of the safest cities I've been in so far in Brazil. Cascavel and Guarapuava. Sorry, I couldn't pronounce that one. What do you mean? Those are two places that you're asking about, or? Sorry, I don't understand. But overall, I mean, you as a vlogger or as a content creator, you can't just live in fear. Otherwise, you're never gonna get the content, And I like to believe that a lot of people are really good. In this town, for example, you get stares. You get stares almost anywhere you go. People staring at you, and they're kind of like, "What the hell is this guy doing?" It doesn't faze me anymore. Sometimes I'll make eye contact with them, or I'll try to talk to them, or I'll ask them a question, interact with them. But you can't let that stuff bother you anymore. Otherwise, you're just not gonna do any good content. I'm over that stuff. That used to bother me a couple of years ago, but not anymore. Those are the two places you're going to. I've never been to Cascavel. I've heard of it, but I've never heard of the other place at all. Cascavel is probably a city similar to here. I don't know if it's bigger than here. I don't know what the population is. I'm willing to visit it at some point. I want to, I'm trying to do all the big locations first, the major cities and whatnot in every state. And then in the future, God willing, I'll go to the unknown parts of Brazil, Best thing to do is maybe do some research on those places. But I would say the state of Paraná is quite safe. But stick with the rule of thumb. Always be on alert, because you're in Brazil. You never know. There's bad people in every corner of the world, So it's just, unfortunately, we live in that kind of world. I could go on about that topic, but that's not what I'm talking about today. So, but no, I think you'll enjoy it. It might be a little chilly. I don't know exactly where you're coming from, but in the winter in Paraná, it can get chilly. Like I felt in Curitiba about 6 degrees Celsius, and it was pouring rain. So it was cold. So someone's using the pool. I've heard people don't know enough English there. Well, it's not that they don't know enough. It's just that it's not they don't really have to learn it. I don't blame them if they don't speak English. I kind of don't like it though in touristy parts of like Rio and São Paulo where they don't speak English, because I know English classes are expensive for Brazilians, but I think employers have to if they're in a touristy district, they should really try to emphasize that they get some English. Even like the basic, it doesn't have to be fluent, I think they do a real disservice to the tourists in Brazil who come to Brazil. But having said that, it doesn't make or break your experience of Brazil, in my opinion. What is the best country to stay in if the world enters a global crisis? I would like to know the answer to that question too. I don't know. I don't think Brazil would be one of those places though, because if there was some sort of collapse, if the system just collapsed, like shit already hits the fan sometimes here. So if there was no police or no law and order, man, I don't want to be here when that happens. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But Brazil would not be one of the places you want to go. Anyway, any other last questions about Varginha? I'm gonna end the live because I gotta do a few things before I head to the bus terminal and head back to BH, Belo Horizonte. Can I teach some English there? Because I have a fluent English. Yeah, you could find private classes if you know what you're doing. You can get private students and make money that way. I don't know how much money those people have in those small towns, but if you were to go to São Paulo or Rio, you could pay for your stay and have a lot of free time. I did that at one point, so it's definitely an option. Teaching English. I started in a school first, which doesn't pay very much, pays very little in fact. But it was the experience, and then you also get to mix in with other Brazilians at the faculty. It was a really cool experience. I don't regret one bit of it. Nice talking to you too. Nice talking to all of you. I hope you enjoyed this live. I'm going to be doing a live tomorrow, hopefully in Belo Horizonte. I don't know the time yet, but I'll try to set it up as to give it notice, So thank you for participating in the live. I really enjoyed my time here, like I said. If you're into ET, UFO, anything like that, this place is definitely gonna, enchant you. It was really cool. So stay tuned for the vlogs. They're gonna come within the next few weeks of all my adventures in Minas Gerais. So we'll see you guys soon. I'm gonna wait till it hits 40 minutes. I like a nice even round number. Até no Belo Horizonte. Yep. Ciao. We'll see you guys. I appreciate all of your support as always, and thanks again. Take care, guys. Ciao.